Let's talk about personal history on the Temple Mount. You know what's interesting? I know someone who was involved in also using the internet to try to help people with various things. Whatever. The shtick is nothing having to do with Harabais or necessarily Jewish, but other help that people need. And then there was an introduction of Harabais issues into, I guess, whatever the format. And it resulted in people unsubscribing, which is kind of unfortunate. What are you going to do? Well, what's my own history with the Temple Mount? When I was in Yeshiva, more than 20 years ago, I can't place this exactly. Sorry also for using their calendar once again. It was sometime between Rosh Hashanah 2004 and 2005, perhaps even later. Basically, from the beginning of Tafshin Samich Hey until sometime in Tafshin Samich Vav, when we were actually discussing this issue in Yeshiva. Why? The Jewish press, as it did a few times, made note of Rabbi Tendler visiting Harabayas, which is well known. He's spoken out very loudly about it. In the response from his father-in-law about how there are places where one could go on Harabayas is well known. So this became a discussion in Yeshiva, a night Seder discussion. And a bunch of guys went over the sugya. I remember discussing this a little bit with Rabbi Elio Soloveitchik, who, by the way, after a number of years, it came out, less than 10 years, that his own prominent son, Rabbi Meir Soloveitchik, was going to Harabayas and has spoken about it. It's not a secret. He goes there. He's been there quite a few times. So he also knew about the permissibility of doing this. And the bottom line was that those guys in the base medrash, and I can name names if they want, or maybe they remember this discussion, also realized that going on to Harabayas was technically permissible according to Jewish law. But this was a yeshiva in New York, so what does it matter? We were there. Harabayas, we were there. Harabayas is now here, or we were, at least we thought we were here, and Harabayas was there. So it mostly was irrelevant. I came to Eretz Yisrael at the end of Tafshin Samech Zayin, on the eve of Tafshin Samech Ches, and it was in the summer of Tafshin Samech Ches that I first went to Harabayas. Why? Because I was actually waiting to go for a long time. I would have been happy to go to Harabayas if I could, but as far as I knew it was permissible. But I also thought it was completely impractical. It was closed to Jews, and there was no way to go. But it turns out that there were people who were going, and it was actually quite simple to go. And I discovered that I had actually posted online the pictures that I had taken from that first trip, and it has a timestamp on it and everything. So I was there. It was actually earlier than I thought I remembered. So it was good to know that, yes, you could go to Harabayas at a certain point. So with all that has changed in the last few years, and by the way, this is before I knew about Rabbi Bar-Hayim even, and all that has changed, thank God, Baruch Hashem, there have been major changes, and I would say that it's in the merit of certain people, very few politicians, but basically those people who make sure to go on a regular basis. The problem was that I wasn't going regularly enough. One was going on Tisha B'Av and other fast days, but certainly not on every holiday, not every opportunity that presented itself. And I'm happy that the people like Rabbi Weber and now Rabbi Wolfson and their followers have made it such a regular thing that they're there basically on the Mishmar. They're there all the time, and things have only gotten better. So that's a good thing, which is why I really pity those people who came from schools, Batei Midrash, yeshivas, where to them, they know for certain that going to Harabayas is forbidden. How are you supposed to have a good Torah discussion with someone and persuade them otherwise if they have come out of yeshiva being convinced of something as a matter of halacha? We're talking about people who are committed to halacha and committed to Torah study. To tell them that which they thought was forbidden, severely forbidden, prohibited by Torah law, is suddenly permissible. They don't want to hear it. It's going to be strictly opposed, both consciously and subconsciously. So it's that is part of the challenge. I'm also surprised by that. I cannot sympathize with such people. because thank God I wasn't colored by that. That makes me wonder, in what respect have I been colored? What other conceptions or assumptions do I have on a daily basis about halacha or Torah study or theology that I really need to unlearn? And it's important to make sure, open up everything, try to finish Shas, I guess, and make sure we're aware of everything to know maybe we're doing something wrong.